What's up, you guys? It's VincaniTV and welcome to an episode of my professional development series for artists. Today's topic is how much should I charge for an art class? Now, this is a very touchy subject because, as you might know, depending on where you live, depending on the economic status of that place, you won't be able to charge the same amount as one location as the other. For example, when I lived in Sacramento, it was a struggle to charge what I wanted, what I felt I was worth. But here in LA, it's a little bit easier to ask more. There's a lot of higher paying jobs here, people have a little bit more money, and this is also an entertainment capital, meaning people are dancing professionally and there's a lot of kids trying to be professional dancers, so it's a little bit easier to charge more. Which leads me to my first point is know your market. Know how much people charge in your area. And I want you to go out there and ask other teaching artists how much they charge. And if you don't know any dance teachers or people that are specific to you, ask other professionals how much they charge. For example, a professional electrician will get paid a certain amount. Let's say like they get paid 50 bucks an hour in your area. And let's say an auto mechanic also gets 50 bucks per hour. And those are professionals in their field. They specialize in what they do. You also specialize in what you do. So you should get comparable rates depending on your experience and what you can deliver. Okay, so think about it like that. You are a specialist in what you do and what you teach. So know that. The other reason why you really want to do some research on this is you don't want to undercut or overcut people. If you start charging crazy amounts and people can't afford it, well, you probably are out of luck. If you could charge crazy amounts and people will afford it, well, you're doing a great job. But what you don't want to do is undercut everybody, because this is what happens all the time. There's always going to be somebody new coming out that's gonna do something similar to you. So say, for example, there's 3 guys over here, they teach a dance class and they all charge 50 bucks an hour, right? And pretty much everybody's charging 50 bucks an hour, and all these new kids start coming in and they're gonna charge 15 an hour, right? Their classes may not be as high of quality, but they're teaching the same thing. Slowly, the employers of these 3 are gonna be like, well, those guys are teaching the same thing and they charge a fraction of what you charge. All of a sudden the prices start to go down. So again, I know you want to be competitive, I know you're eager to get a job, but don't undercut the market, because that makes things bad for everybody, right? We all want to get better, but we have to get better together. This leads me to my next point, is know your worth. And this is probably the most important part of pricing your class. Know how much you are worth. Know how much you're worth per hour. Okay, and I'm gonna use an example for when I first started teaching my very first class. I was 17 years old and I got offered a job to teach for 20 bucks an hour, and I was like, whoa, 20 bucks an hour, that's amazing. I was just working a job, I was getting paid 6 bucks an hour. Bam, I'm hopping on it. So I quit my job, I started doing this. And then I realized that I was only teaching for 1 hour, right? So I really wasn't making that much money. I was making 20 bucks and I had to drive 30 minutes there, 30 minutes home, so I was taking 2 hours, so I was getting 10 bucks an hour, and then probably spent 5 bucks on gas to get there, so I was getting 15 bucks total, which is $7.50 per hour. So I really wasn't making that much money. It would be different if I was getting 5 classes for 20 bucks an hour. At that time, maybe that would have been a lot, but again, think about how much you're worth per hour, and then start to figure out your pricing. Number 3, everyone say up your quality. One of the biggest things that some people lack is to grow as a teaching artist. Of course, you go practice, you start training, you're getting better at your craft, but you also have to get better at your teaching craft, right? If you keep teaching the exact same thing in the exact same way and you get the exact same outcome, well, there slowly becomes a problem, right? Especially if your work starts declining, people stop hiring you, they start hiring other people. There might be an issue that you need to resolve. So consistently work on improving your teaching, improving your quality, your product. Make yourself more valuable to people. Because again, anybody can teach. Anybody can get out there and start teaching. But not everybody can teach good. You could be an amazing dancer and be a terrible teacher. So work on your teaching. Figure out the mind of somebody who has a horrible time learning. Someone that has difficulty like putting their arms straight for a dance move, right? Think about how you could teach that person something, and then apply that same mentality to all ages, all levels, all shapes and sizes, because then you will start to improve on what you do. And at that point, you could charge more, right? You start to become more in demand, right? When you make yourself a necessity versus just a luxury class. When the school system is like, yo, I need B-boy toothbrush in my classrooms because he's making these kids change their lives. Walk into every class like that. Today, I'm gonna change a kid's life. My quality of my class is so good that I know how to change a kid from being a terrible student to an amazing one. Or taking a kid who hates everything about school, everything about life, to loving what he's doing now. That's what you have to think about. So improve your quality, and then slowly your payment will start going up. Last but not least, know when to say no. There's gonna be so many times where people are gonna give you a convincing argument of why you should do their class for cheaper, and you're gonna do it, but there's a point where you have to start saying no. I know this very much because I used to do this all the time when I first started. I would just accept anything that comes my way, and I just hated saying no because I felt bad. But after a while, you have to know when to say no. Get to know the business breakdown of your class. Now, for the past 10 years or so, I've been doing a lot of nonprofit work, meaning I worked for a nonprofit that funded my classes through grants, through donations, through sponsorships. For those type of things, it's actually very difficult to gauge like how much you should get paid. And for me personally, I actually felt pretty bad like asking for more money because it was a nonprofit, and sometimes they were struggling to, be able to pay, but they put in a ton of work to be able to provide a job for me, so I was grateful. For other places, for dance studios, this is where it gets a little bit tough. A lot of dance studios sometimes struggle just to keep the doors open and to keep kids in the classroom. So you have to think about how much are they charging, how much kids are in the class, how much are they really making off of you. If there's like 20 kids in your class and you're getting paid 20 bucks, that studio is making a lot of money off you. Now again, I don't want you guys going out and giving your current job a bunch of attitude and yelling at them, telling VincaniTV said that you're ripping me off. Don't do that. I'm telling you this because when you go out there and get another teaching job, a new one, know how much that you should be charging. Because again, if they have a packed class, you should be getting paid a little bit more. And I have a lot of friends that I know that have gotten ripped off. So know your market, know your worth, increase your value consistently, and know when to say no. Alright? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope this helps you gauge how much you could charge in your market, in your area. Alright? For more dance tutorials and knowledge, make sure you guys subscribe to VincaniTV. Peace.